Yoma Daf, how's everybody doing? Today's first email comes from R Eli from South Africa, wishing you and your family extended MDY create good yontif. Many thanks for all the hard work you put into the shir. Baruch Hashem, I'm still on track with the daf using either the app or YouTube. May Hashem shower you and your helpers with bracha ad blida, your indebted Talmud, R Eli, South Africa. And a second one from Glenn Ackerman from West Hempstead, New York. Had great time meeting the Chevron and watching live in the Five Towns Matzah Shabbos. Look forward to the Kaisel Daf as well as every other Daf. We're here in New York. We are davening for our brothers and sisters in Israel that everyone should be safe. Glenn Ackerman, West Hempstead, New York. Thank you. So Yoma Daf Lamed Ches starts off discussing the Shar Nikoiner, the famous eastern gate, the main gate into the Azara. The doors were made through Nisim. The story goes that Nicanor went to Alexandria, Mitzrayim, to commission these special doors, and there's a storm on the sea, and they had to throw off one of the doors from the ship. They wanted to throw off the second one, and he grabbed it, he hugged it, and he said, I'm going to go with it. And the ocean calmed down, and then he had tsar. Why didn't he do the same thing on the first one? When he came to Eretz Yisrael, there was the door. Some say that a creature in the ocean, let's say a whale, swallowed it and spit it off on the shores of Eretz Yisrael. As it says in the pasuk, Braisim. The doors were made out of Braisim, so we darshan Bris Yam, covenant with the ocean, or Brias Yam, the second shot, there was a creature of the ocean that saved the doors. When Klal Yisrael became wealthier, they switched out all the doors to gold, besides this Shar Nikoiner. Why? Three reasons. Either because a nace occurred with these doors, they want to remember the nace, or that the copper looked like gold, was good enough, or it was made out of a special copper called klanisa it shined like gold. There's actually a Gemara that says that's even more expensive than gold. Says the Mishnah, there are those that are criticized, the Chacham criticized them, the Beis Garmi that they made lechem apanim, they didn't teach everybody the trick how to take it out without it getting moldy and breaking apart. Beis Aftinos didn't teach the people the trick how to make the ketores with a plum smoke that was like a stick. And Chacham tried to imitate them and bring people from Mitzrayim that know how to make ketores, know how to make the bread, but they couldn't copy them. And Chacham said, okay, you see from here, Kol hanikra b'shmi u'chvedi b'rasiv, and there's another pasuk called Poyal Hashem l'maneu that's talking about things that everything in this world was made for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so let's bring them back. And it cost a double amount of money to bring them back. But Chacham said, they do have something positive about them. The people that made the lechem apanim would never take bread home. They wouldn't eat regular bread, so no one should say that they stole from Beis Hamikdash. And those who made the ketores never wore psalmim. They didn't let their wives wear psalmim. Rabbi Shmuel says, I once bumped into one of these, a descendant from Beis Aftinas, and I told him, you wanted to take away the covenant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and give yourselves covenant. Look what happened. Today, you are nothing and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is still there. Rabbi Shmuel ben Loiga says, I once saw a child that was crying and laughing. I said, why are you crying? He said, because I remember the honor that my forefathers had making the ketores. And he was laughing because, look, right in front of us is the plant called the Mala Ashan that we use. And where is it? I can't show it to you. I have a shvuah, I'm sworn to secrecy. But there was an older person that gave the Megillas Samamonim, and this is a book that shows what's Mala Ashan. He gave it to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. He says, once upon a time we were careful not to give it out to people, so they shouldn't use it for Avodah Zarah, but today they're not careful, let me give it to you. And Rabbi Kiva said, if so, then we can no longer say that Beis Aftinas, we can't criticize them. You see that they were right. They did it wasn't an excuse, they were actually sincere and trying to protect the Kavod Shemayim. The Nazi says, from here you see an unbelievable idea. When they call you, that's when you come. Where you belong, that's in other words, a person cannot take away from anyone anything. You can't steal from your friend, you won't become wealthier and he won't become poor. Whatever he deserves, that's it. And one kingdom cannot go encroach the other kingdom's time. Whenever he was meant to be there, that's when it is. As we explained before, the reason why Beis Aftinas and Beis Garmu, all these people didn't want to teach how to do the lechem apanim and the ketores, and like we'll see, and how to sing, is because they wanted to protect that people shouldn't do it for Avodah Zarah. Hugraz ben Levi didn't teach how to sing nicely. He would stick his thumb into his mouth and his finger between his mustache, and he made beautiful sounds that the Kohanim would be taken aback. Ben Kamtzor, he knew how to write Shem Hashem, the 4-letter Shem Hashem, with all 4 fingers. He would use 4 pens, and he wouldn't tell anybody to do it, but he didn't have a good reason. And the Mishnah says on all of them, V'shem Rishoyim Yirkav. In other words, their name should be rusted. You're not allowed to call somebody with their name. And the raya is, there's a person that called his son Dayeg, was a Rasha. The person died, and his own mother would measure her son every day, and whatever he grew, that's how much she would donate in that value in gold to the Beis Hamikdash. But once the enemy came in and there's nothing to eat, she took her own son, shechted her son, and ate her son, as it says, and we learned tipuchim means tfachim. She measured him with tfachim, and you see, it's because he had a terrible mazel on his name. His name was Dayeg. And the Navi, the Ruach HaKodesh came and said, you know why this happened? Ki hargu kayin v'navi beis hamikdash. They killed the kayin and Navi. Ovadia lived between two Rishayim, Achav and Izevel, and he didn't learn from them. On the flip side, Esav lived with the two tzaddikim Olam, Yitzchak and Rivka, and he didn't learn from them how to be a good person. Rebbe Lazar says, if you mishakeach dover echem talmuda, you cause yourself to forget something from learning, you cause gullus to your children. Bavo says that if you were a great person, they'll take you down in stature. V'zorach hashemesh u'ba hashemesh. A tzaddik is not nifter from this world until HaKadosh Baruch Hu plants another tzaddik just like him in this world, as it says by Eli. Right before he was nifter, Shmuel HaNavi started already saying nevuah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw, or he sees, that there's not a lot of tzaddikim, so he plants tzaddikim in each and every generation. The world could exist for one tzaddik. Rabbi Yochanan says, if a person lives most of his years, the majority of his years, he won't sin naturally. If a person overcomes an Aveira once and then twice, he won't have to deal with that Aveira again. Have a wonderful day.